Ladies and gentlemen, we got some ReZero news, some ReZero drama. So this video is going to cover two separate topics. First of all, shoutouts to ICE, the most credible and most legit source for ReZero news stuff. And we have some updates regarding what happened with Studio White Fox being acquired. Remember, Alpha Pulse is acquiring Studio White Fox. They're saying we're going to run down their own IPs down mid, and they don't care about what may happen to ReZero. We got some update about that. And then there's some fun drama. So anybody know this guy? This is the subreddit too. But anybody know this guy? You guys should be familiar with this guy, right? For the terminally not online and the employed members of society, basically there's a person named Okeanix who is the #1 ReZero glazer on Twitter. It's a random kid just spamming about how much they love ReZero, but it gets so toxic that like basically there's a spectrum. You know how there's people that hates on ReZero from the Mushoku Tensei fandom? Like, he is basically kind of like the opposite, where he glazes ReZero so much that it becomes toxic and shits on everything that's not toxic, that's not ReZero. And this is White Fox Gakuri. This is literally White Fox professionals, executives. This dude is behind ReZero. And he's responding to fucking a random RageBait account, a random Glazer RageBait account is being responded to by a fucking CEO of White Fox. Do you understand how ridiculous this is? This is why Twitter is a crazy place. Twitter's a crazy place where if you say enough bullshit and contrarian stuff, you're gonna get responses from fucking executives like this, man. And unfortunately, this tweet is an image. I try to go in Okeanix's alt account, which this is from, and decipher what's happening, but he deleted the tweet. So what I did, I went to ChatGPT. I consulted our AI gods. And let's read first. Let's handle the drama first and then handle the professional news afterwards. I said, can you translate this tweet? All right, here we go. I think the best thing for you to do is step down. Oh shit. Yo, he telling the fucking CEO to step down. You have absolutely no understanding or vision of what today's anime viewers want or think. All right, we gotta bring out the white room for this. we gotta shout out to Enryu. Shout out to Enryu again. Please check their channel out for music. We gotta bring out the one. Oh man, we fucking Okeanix popping off right now, bro. Okay, you have absolutely no understanding or vision of what today's anime viewers want or think. The fact, yeah, let's loop it. The fact that you're still stuck with outdated ideas from the 90s, like Sengoku Yoku, shows your ignorance. And those of you that doesn't know about this, basically this is an anime. I'm surprised he's not putting Busame on blast right now. So, a lot of people were complaining about this anime happening. This is a Studio White Fox anime because this basically was during season 3 production. People have conspiracies that like because White Fox, focused on this 2-core project that ReZero got like less focus, right? Anyways, that's kind of where that's coming from. He hates Sengoku Yoku because it delayed ReZero. If a competent CEO were in your position, they would have been able to push ReZero to the level of One Piece. But over the past 10 years, you haven't made a single good decision. Not one? Not one? Oh, come on. I think ReZero Season 1 was amazing. What do you mean not one good decision? And White Fox continues to decline year after year. Saying that ReZero doesn't make much money is no excuse. That's simply due to your income. Oh, bro's telling the CEO a skill issue right now. Oh my god. Bro's telling the CEO, oh, ReZero ain't bringing him money? Y'all getting bought out by Alpha Pole? Skill issue. A better businessman would have simply made more money, bro. God damn. You could have secured better contracts from Kadokawa. And the reply below it, because remember, there's 2 tweets to this, right? There's 2 tweets to it. There isn't enough of this, but before it's too late, ReZero fans should voice their dissatisfaction towards Kadokawa and push them to take the series away from its current production studio and give it to a better one. Thank you, ChatGPT. That was great. We gotta thank our AI overlords, man. One of these days they're gonna take over, and I want to, be in their good, good light. Enjoy your day. Oh, that's so nice of you, man. So that's pretty much it. There's a little quick drama happening from Okeanix, the #1 ReZero Glazer, aiming their fucking guns at the CEO. The CEO then said, well, I don't know what you're pissed off about, but sorry, I didn't start the company to make money, That's a based answer too. Basically, he's saying, I did this for passion, for the love of the fucking game. There's other ways to make money, and maybe those options would leave ReZero the anime in a worse spot than it actually is. Who knows, man? And then you have Ice coming here, responding, saying, please ignore this person. I think it's fine to offer constructive criticism, but with Alpha Polis saying they want to prioritize the animation of their own IP, there's overall anxiety about ReZero's 5th season. Absolutely, right? Alpha Polis made a statement saying, we gonna focus on our IP. What's their own IP? Skimichi Fantasy, Remonster, Honorary Atelier Meister, The Great Alchemist. It's crazy because we watched all that in this channel, and most of them are just fucking mid. But could you imagine with Studio White Fox's, resources or like talent, that like maybe these animes that we watch could get better direction, therefore better anime? If Iwasa isn't retained as CEO or something after the acquisition, would it be impossible to guarantee anything? As a ReZero fan, all ReZero fans are naturally feeling increasingly anxious, and basically, he was responding to that. So honestly, this is kind of crazy. Even though this all started with stupid drama and Okeanix called the CEO out, it then made an opportunity to get answers where the guy is responding to Ice now about the future uncertainty. Now, a character this colorful is pretty rare these days, lol. In the most polite way, he is calling Okeanix a retard. In the most professional and polite way. Okay, alright, a little bit of insult there. As for ReZero, I plan to stick with it until the end, unless Kadokawa-san or Tente Nagatsuki, aka the author, gives me the boot. Even if something comes up, I'll make sure to handle the handover properly, so please don't worry. And then we got an Ice response here saying, I see, thank you for the reply. That's assuring. And now, let's go back to the top. Gaku Iwasa, the owner of White Fox Studios, pre-purchased and has made a public statement about his company becoming a subsidiary. There seems to be a lot of speculation flying around regarding White Fox becoming a subsidiary company, but I more or less think things will proceed as usual, as in nothing will change. The main goal is to speed up the expansion of IzuFox, so things like the direction of our works and helping our other companies out will keep proceeding as usual, so please keep following us with your sort of warmth. I will keep doing the best for another 10 years. So this is the tweet that he is quote retweeting. If we go here and translate this post, basically that's what he's saying, right? He's saying like, we're gonna do this right. We're not gonna just get eaten up. We're not just gonna get swallowed up. Oh, over here actually. This is his tweet. Okay. Okay. All right, he did it. All right, okay. So we can do this. Hold up, now we can get the second part of this. So I think the first one, he's talking about, how you need to make money. I'm convinced you're a Mushoku Tensei psyop sent to make the ReZero community a brain-dead hellscape. I think Eri is onto something. Dude, this is the biggest conspiracy of our lives. Okeanix is actually not a ReZero Glazer. He is a covered agent, bro. He's a sleeper agent. He is secretly undercover to make ReZero look bad while praising the name of ReZero. Oh my god. This is some advanced trolling, man. This is some advanced fucking trolling. Alright, here we go. Hold on. Where's ChatGPT again? ChatGPT, come back. Let's look at the second response here. Translate, please. Actually, we could just translate through Twitter. What am I doing this? That's pretty much it. He's saying, basically switch it, bro. It's gonna get worse and worse. Y'all need to fucking change to a different studio, stop being a bunch of losers. That's what basically he's saying. Hop off, White Fox. Retardation Club is down the hall to the right. It must be sad, being so desperate to make some bucks out of this rotten app. Just so you can put some bread in your table and spend all day rage baiting with no significant purpose. He loves it though, He loves it for the love of the game, man. So you're mad White Fox does other anime beside ReZero? Yes, how dare they do Sengoku Yoko, bro? Does this guy even like the series? Well, you see, he's the only person that likes ReZero. Just like Jake, who is the only ReZero content creator, Okeanix is the only ReZero fan, and all of you, You're lacking faith. It is disturbing how little you care about ReZero. You should be just as angry as him, man. Some more responses from Ice. Some of my quick thoughts and statements. I'm not sure, unless he's retained as the CEO of White Fox proper, how he can claim things will proceed as usual. Yeah, it is just kind of bullshit right now. We're all just making assumptions. If Alpha Polis replaces him as the CEO of White Fox, he will have no control of what they do. It's relatively atypical for the owner to be retained as the CEO of a company after it is wholly bought as a subsidiary. True. It depends on the contract, it depends on how the proceedings are done, but if the intention is to basically restructure the entire company and make it their sister company, they're going to replace leadership. They're going to replace their entire thing so that their own people are put into leadership so that, you know, the communication, they're going to listen and basically do as their bosses are telling them to. That leads to the second part of the statement, which is a little more interesting to me. I don't know how the structure of the deal works beyond what was publicly stated, but it sounds like White Fox, Izufox at least, might not have been part of the purchase. So Izufox is like a different part of White Fox that may not have been impacted, is the assumption here. Okay. Hold up. Where was I? If so, that would mean Gaku will retain control of White Fox Izukogen, which at this point may as well be functioning as a studio proper. So it's basically its own like sovereign studio, rather than its original vision of being dedicated solely for training animators. ReZero moving to Izufox could be something interesting to consider if Alpha Polis do not get part of the 100% shares they purchase in White Fox. So this is another like shining glimmer of hope where a small portion of White Fox is left alone and it can focus on ReZero. So that's like hopeful. It's hard to believe Gaku, in my opinion, unless he is later confirmed to be retained as the CEO of White Fox proper by Alpha Polis, when Alpha Polis' statements about White Fox trajectory is contradictory to some extent of Gaku's words. Let's wait and see more details to emerge about the structure of the deal. And stuff over here too. For your information, like I mentioned on Discord, the tone of Gaku's Japanese statement about White Fox trajectory uses this construction, where the question particle indicates a softer, more speculative tone versus his more decisive wording. Okay. That's so funny how there's like different like how like balls to the walls his statements are depending on the phrase that he's saying, right? Sometimes he's gonna be more passive about it, sometimes he's gonna be more strong about it. All right, that's kind of where we're at. Now, there is a little bit more here on the subreddit. So Gaku Iwasa clarifies the ReZero statement, and we basically read all of that. Let's see some of the subreddit comments. I assume it's still going to be hard to, with their focus being split, but this is some good news, so I'm going to try to stay hopeful as possible. That's right. No point dooming, right? Unshaded ears for season 5. I think that these are some out of context spoilers. I'm glad there are leading people. Oh, sorry, it's not. This is a meme about season 2 maybe, actually, right? Basically, less texture, less shadowing, less details than ReZero. I think that's what they're memeing about. I'm glad there are leading people with love for things other than just money and power. Gaku also says that even with the acquisition, things will not change that much. And the staff chosen will keep giving ReZero the resources and the same care we have so far, but the scenario something happens, he will hand over the reins properly. To who though? Somebody that cares about ReZero more? Edit. Ice also says Gaku seems close to Tape. He used a really informal cutesy way of saying, yeah, Tenten, right? He's giving, you know, Tape like a little cute nickname. Stu, White Fox, and ReZero. Hey, what's going on? I got, you know, Subaru Dad. Optimistically, I think we can get more cases, more ReZero content like the EX story if the story is animated. That would be really cool. I really want the EX stories. I think that side stories and stuff add so much fucking like lore. The OVAs for that would be so nice, man. What are some popular IPs of Alpha Polis? You don't want to know, bro. Skimichi Militant Fantasy and Gator is definitely in the top part, but like the Unaware Atelier Meister, you know, like Remonster, The Great Alchemist, I don't really know about that, man. Good. I really love how passionate White Fox is about ReZero. Unknown Anime Studio. Give ReZero characters and shaded ears and my life is yours. All right. Basically, we shouldn't get too happy about this, but we shouldn't get too doomer about this either, right? Because at the end of the day, everything is still speculative. But at the very least, these are positive signs. Without this, it was looking pretty doom and gloom. Like that Asurata video we watched, we explored through different opportunities and different options. And it's looking like it's going to be a net negative. But they're saying, listen, the leadership, they love ReZero. They work closer with Tape. The only way things are going to go bad is if Karakawa or Tape gives up on us, which I find hard to believe. But the biggest threat is Alpha Polis, the parent company buying White Fox, and whether or not Gaku will be replaced entirely But there's also some silver lining of hope regarding the Ikuzo, right? There is basically a small sub-faction of, you know, White Fox, the Iku Fox or whatever, that may, right, may deliver just ReZero content. Anyways, that's it from me. Please check out Ice's channel or Twitter account, I guess, huh? Very informative, very like legitimate source. Also the Okeanex stuff, that's fucking hilarious to me. Bye bye.